Hello and welcome to the weekly Kashmir University Video Digest Quest. First, a look at the highlights. NSS commemorates World Population Day. Advisor to Governor K. Vijay Kumar delivers maiden lecture on leadership qualities. And 2-week summer school camp concludes. Now the details of these events with your host Umar Malik. The National Service Scheme chapter of the University of Kashmir organized a seminar in commemoration of the World Population Day. Advisor to the Governor Mr. K. Vijay Kumar was the special guest on the occasion. He cautioned participants that aging population is a worry for all countries.
The most important factor is the people of the age group of 15 to 64, most productive group, that population is declining. In many of these important countries, even China, they are going to face a serious crisis in the years to come. So what is the solution? Is the import of youth. Some countries are considering import of youth and energy, but some countries don't want outsiders to come inside, because everybody is little scared of outsider people coming in. So xenophobic tendency. So why should we allow him? We will allow only skilled man. That is what Trump is saying. If you are skilled, come into America, otherwise don't come. We don't want pair of hands and legs. So the crisis today of population, of the aging population, is to be tackled by two important things. That the aging population should not be a threat to the younger population and steal their jobs and continue in non-retired kind of mode and go on forever. I belong to that mode. I am little senior. I should not be stealing away your job. I should be doing something different, dissimilar, but complementing your work. That is one. That is, the aged population have to be productive also.
Mr. Kumar said that due to population decline, it's important that women should become part of workforce so that the imbalance in productivity is rectified.
Second, most important, here it is heartening to see, Professor Talat, that your university has got a high ratio of women students here. It's almost 60-40 or something like that. You are, I am addressing the ladies here, you are a very important segment. Because of this population distortion and productivity is going to decline, if women come into the workforce, you come into the productive area, this imbalance will be set off considerably. These are the 2 points I would like to convey. In other words, the senior citizens should skill themselves differently. They should not be unemployed, they should not keep quiet. They should complement the skills of the younger people, and the women who are not fully employed to the extent required, because you form 50% of the population. If your strength also, your muscle also, your heft also, your energy also, your effervescence and zeal also come into play, then the whole humankind will benefit.
Vice Chancellor Professor Talat Ahmed lauded the role of the NSS volunteers and urged them to concentrate on the spread of education among women.
Because आपके ऊपर बहुत ज़्यादा मुनहसर करता है आपके स्टेट और आपके कंट्री को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए, कि अगर आप समझें कि पॉपुलेशन की क्या इम्पोर्टेंस है और एजुकेशन की क्या इम्पोर्टेंस है, तो आप जो हैं आने वाले दिनों में यू विल बी द लीडर एंड एट द सेम टाइम यू विल आल्सो मेक थिंग्स मोर कंड्यूसिव so that no child is left without education. Mother is educated, definitely the child is going to be educated. So which is very important. And sir, I am very happy to say that of my experience in Kashmir University, almost 80% of the gold medal goes to the girls. So they are doing excellent.
Earlier coordinator NSS Dr. Shamim Ahmed Shah in his welcome address lamented that the female-sex ratio has decreased alarmingly in the state of Jammu and Kashmir.
The main aim of the commemorating these days is to sensitize the society at large and stakeholders in particular about the various issues confronting the society. Indeed, after this inaugural session, we are having an invited lecture followed by a debate on the topic attitude towards female child is the reason for declining sex ratio in Jammu and Kashmir. So there are very strong issues which are confronting the society and especially in our part of this state. This aspect needs immediate attention as the sex ratio over a period of time has been declining. And between the 0 to 6 years of child, the decreasing rate has been very alarming, and it's from 941 in 2001 census. It has gone from 941 from 2001 to 862 in 2011. And in fact, we are also on the below the national average also.
Program Officer NSS Dr. Waqar Amin conducted the proceedings of the function. Staying on with Mr. Kumar, after the NSS function, the advisor delivered a special talk on leadership skills for the students and scholars of business studies.
Part. What are the 3 B's I will talk to you about? I'm going to tell you that I of course told you the battles or the sufferings of others teach you something. That is 1 B. The other B is biographies of people who have made it somewhere to the highest station in life. They, while their companions slept, were toiling upwards in the night. Is a quote, not my words. The heights of man reached and kept were not attained by a sudden flight. They, while their companions slept, were toiling upwards in the night. The other last B I may mention in passing is not to keep saying that you didn't get something in life. If you had gone into Delhi University, you would have done better. If you had gone into some other stream, you would have done better. If you had gone to Harvard, you would have done better. Not looking at what you missed, but look at a bigger underdog than you. Underdog means a less privileged man who is suffering more than you, who is not privileged like you to be sitting in a beautiful university like this, but still making ahead in life, still picking up the threads and doing well.
He said that leaders are not born, but they create their own space.
In passing about my CV, when I was introduced, they told me that I was working with Rajiv Gandhi. I did work with him as his chief bodyguard for 5 years. It was one of the greatest privileges to be protecting a man like that. Very sensitive. And even if you are winding up at 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the morning after a hectic tour, he invariably would ask me by name and ask whether the team is okay. And morning, we would have slept for 2 hours and woken up at 4:30 and 5 o'clock we are back in the convoy. Invariably, he will ask, did you have some rest? With a smile, because he knows how much rest was given. So a very compassionate man, very humane, and wonderful to work with him.
Mr. Kumar urged students and scholars to always face challenges with verve and never give up.
And think of worst case scenarios and think what will happen, what the hell will happen. If it happens, I'm willing to face it. So in my mind, I have constantly rehearsed worst case scenarios. Even today in Kashmir, sitting with you in your company, I think of worst case scenarios. What can happen? What can happen? What I should do? Nothing wrong. You are not going to be demotivated. You are not going to be depressed. You don't require antidepressants. You will be absolutely all right. So experience of your own self, feeling it, being there. I have been there once, learning from what others say and listening to others. Overall, your experience corpus, your experience bank, your sensitive, your bank of senses will increase, all faculties, both of vision, audition, overall thinking, synaptic memory, everything will increase, so that a new situation is presented to you in which you have not been there before. Because of this surrogate experience and the keenness of eye and ears, you will be able to automatically conceptualize and tackle that situation also, most probably. That's all I can say now. Yeah.
Praising the advisor's speech on leadership, Vice Chancellor Professor Talat Ahmed reiterated that giving up is no solution to any problem.
Because I am not from management side, but somehow I learned lots of things by taking decision on my own. So, what my experience as Vice Chancellor, not only here, because I have been teaching in different universities, I have seen that you have to take a logical decision and you should be ready to face the world. Okay, then you will be, and then at least I have been very fortunate in whatever situation, whatever decision I have taken, logically I have been successful. Okay. So you have to take decision. If you want to be a leader, you have to take a decision try to be as logical as possible. Okay, you cannot please everybody as a leader, but they will understand your logic, and then your decision, will work. It was very nice to hear Vijay Kumar ji's experience of how he worked, to get Veerappan, and from that time I have been knowing him at least through papers and news.
Earlier Head Department of Management Studies Professor Mushtaq Ahmed Darzi, while introducing the guest to the audience, said that becoming a leader is toughest thing because it means to take unpopular choices.
The true leader is someone who earns respect through his rightful actions and mass following without any dictatorship. He inspires others to follow his footsteps and become the guiding light for the humanity. The great leader is someone who carries the torch of wisdom and enlightens the society, thereby leading people to the path of progress and growth. Besides, the true meaning of leadership is having the requisite ability to enable people want to follow you while being under no compulsion as such to do so. Leaders are those people who set certain benchmarks and try to achieve those benchmarks by allowing people to judge them according to their actions and endeavors. The goals are set and all might is put towards achieving these goals, but without compromising with the ethics and morals. This is the true mark of a great leader.
Research Associate at Department of Business Studies Mr. Muhammad Ayub Shah conducted the proceedings of the function. The 2-week summer school camp on climate change and biodiversity concluded. The camp was organized by the University of Kashmir in association with Bangalore-based Research Institute and think tank, the Ashoka Trust for Research in Ecology and the Environment. On the valedictory function, participants presented their project work. Speaking on the occasion, organizer of the program, Dr. Manzoor Ahmed Shah, while praising participants, urged them to work hard on their projects so that they are published in reputed journals.
Idea was to expose you to various facets of this climate change and its relation with biodiversity, especially in the Western Himalayan context. And you interacted with well-known, renowned experts in the field who have been there working in this area for years together. And after that theoretical discourse, one of the very distinguishing features of this summer school has been the training that you got for data analytical tools such as R, or for that matter GIS and other data analytical tools. And I was really happy this morning when you presented your project reports. I must tell you that if you work a bit harder on the kind of data that you have generated for the coming days, each one of these 4 projects can be a potential good publication. And we will be, of course, encouraging you for that, and you should plan it that way.
Dean School of Biological Sciences, Professor Irshad Ahmed Nauchu, lamented that lethargy of society toward conserving the biodiversity.
On one side, we have many acts of protection, etc. that is candidate raised about the forest protection. We had acts. We had an act of protection of medicinal plants known as COT Act that was abolished. And abolition of that act has actually given consent to local communities to use those without bothering about the status, and they have overexploited those. These actually are the issues we should take care ourselves, as well as try to cooperate and collaborate with government as well as other private institutions who will help us to sort of communicate a method or a strategy which will help us not only to sustain the resources but also help us to use them properly. Unless and until that is done, a time may come that in the Kashmir also we may feel that almost whole of the green belt is converted into a desert. A picture is entirely different in one part of J&K, that is Ladakh. When I used to visit Ladakh as a student, it was barren desert. Only water streams and barren habitats were seen. Now if we visit Ladakh, wherever a stream is flowing, they have tried to create artificial forests by sowing salix and populus. It was a desert that has been converted into a green belt, and we had a green belt, we have tried to convert it into a desert. That is the difference of opinion. And there, if you visit any habitat where you want to go for collection purposes, they won't allow you to harvest any plant unless you give them some sort of an evidence that you need it for a particular purpose. They don't allow you to carry polythene bags. They don't allow you to throw any wastage on the roadsides, on the streams, etc. That is a part of J&K stay. The attitude is of one type. In the Kashmir Valley, we have seen this slightly different.
Dean Research Professor Zafar Ahmed Rishi put forward a proposal of doing collaborative research with the Artery and also organizing regular workshops for the prospective scholars.
We did discuss as to how we can take this relationship further, how we can deepen the academic relationship between our two institutions in the larger interests of the student, in the larger interests of our people, and then how best it can be done. I mean, I hope and expect that the discussions that we had, they would prepare a sort of a report about all this, and then that report has to be submitted to the authorities with a follow-up action plan. And we expect that given the quality of program that we had, quality of this Samsukur we had, we should be having few more. I would request the Artery that if they would, I believe that the participants here had somehow taken a course in research. They have spent 2 years, 3 years in research. Is it possible, say, to organize a small workshop for students who are yet to, say, take a plunge in the research or are likely to take a plunge, so that they are trained appropriately as to how a research question is articulated, how it is identified, how do you say that it would be a good research, how to go about it, right? Anyway, there are issues in this regard in our place. There are some people who ask very great questions, then there are most of the people who ask very ordinary questions.
Organizer of the Artery Summer School, Dr. Anika, proposed the vote of thanks. That's all for today's episode. Log on to our website emmrckashmir.com, where you can check the latest episode of The Quest. You can also watch it on our YouTube channel, that is KU Television. Do send us your valuable suggestions at our email address, that is quest@emmrckashmir.com. Before I take your leave, here are a few words of wisdom. Truth is not truth, but noise, some error and rank falsehood, if it presumes to exist outside the pale of European cognizance.